Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, it's George from the Elvis Final Guy channel. We had me and three other VC members. We just had a meetup in St. Louis, and it was a blast. You should have seen a picture of it right before. That was Billy Hurst, myself, Memphis Final Jim, and Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame. And April, the missus, was taking the picture. And so we had a fun time. We had a couple of record stores. I hit my first record convention that morning in Paducah, Kentucky, on my way up to St. Louis, and I picked up a few things there. It wasn't that great. I'm sure other record fairs are going to be a lot better. But I had a blast. Guys, if you're watching this, I can't wait to do it again. It was so fun getting to meet everybody. The coolest part of the whole experience to me was within the first 2 minutes of me, Billy Hurst, and Mr. Hall of Fame being in a record store together, I felt like it was a reunion and not a first meetup. It was so wicked. Mr. Hall of Fame is Brandon. It was so cool. Very, personable. Very tall. Jesus, dude. Seriously. Anyway, I thought I was a big guy. My God. This dude's tall. It was like 11 feet tall or something. Not really. Anyway, it was fun. They introduced me to a record store in St. Louis that I didn't even know existed, and I think it's amazing. We only had about 45 minutes in that record store. I still found 3 things that were just off the charts for me. One thing I've been looking for a long time, so I was really excited about that. Anyway, I'm blabbing. Guys, I had fun. Memphis Final Jim and the Misses. It was so awesome to get to see you guys. And at the end of this video, after I show you everything I got that day, I got some VCLT from Billy Hurst and Memphis Final Jim. And what I got from Memphis Final Jim and the Misses is pretty important to me. I mean, not that Billy Hurst isn't, but there's set the bar for, well, not set the bar, but it just blew my mind, really. Anyway, I'm blabbing, so I want to get to it. At the record fair, this guy had like 6,000 albums he had just bought off of a dude. He didn't even go through them. Seriously. $1 a piece. And I got some really cool stuff for $1. And I could have spent another $30 just at his booth. I mean, I passed up like, I've got like 3 or 4 Firefall albums, but there must have been 10 different Firefall albums there. I could have bought their whole collection, and why I didn't do it, I honestly don't even know. I think I was just so caught up in the moment that I said I want to go back to those, and I just never did. I bet there's some really cool music I left there for $1, but oh well. I'll get started. Ella Mac the Knife. This is Ella in Berlin. Ella Fitzgerald. It says La Fitzgerald. Recorded live in concert, accompanied by the Paul Smith Quartet at West Berlin's Deutschland Holland. This is on Verve Records, MGV-4041. That's at the back. There's the song listings. This was really cool to find. I've heard about this. I've heard a few songs online, but I've never seen this before, and it is a gold stamp promo, and it is Jerry Reed sings Jim Croce. And his take on these songs is absolutely stunning. Now, obviously, my wife said I prefer Croce's better when I was listening to it. And so do I. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to do Jim Croce like Jim Croce. But Jerry Reed, when he set out to do this album, he did not set out to do a mimic of Jim Croce. He did his own thing with the songs, and I think they're outstanding. It's got that swamp rock country of Jerry Reed on Jim Croce titles. So, pretty awesome. Got some cool soundtracks. This was really cool to find, still in the shrink. You know, I'm a big Linda Ronstadt fan, an American Tale, and I collect soundtracks. So, this has got Somewhere Out There by Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram, so that was awesome to find. This was a buck, Pure Prairie League, Bustin' Out. I didn't have a copy of this, and this is an excellent condition. Almost all of these were beautiful condition. I didn't have a copy of this, I don't think. My boy Johnny Rivers was Slim Slow Slider. Won't say that 10 times fast. Great album. Always find that beat up. I added 2 new, this is Cyan from Three Dog Night. I think I already have this album, but this one was in such good condition I couldn't let it go. Still with the original inner sleeve. I know I do not have this album. This is Three Dog Night, Coming Down Your Way. I think this completes my Three Dog Night collection. I'm not for sure about that. If it does, I will do a collection video and let you all see everything I have. I have this album in triplicate. This is a 4th copy, but this has the hype sticker, and I just could not let that go. Dobie Gray's Lovin' Arms with good old song hype sticker. The record inside here, though, is absolutely beat to trash. But I bought this for the album cover for $1. I've got, like I said, 3 copies, so I'm going to do what I do. Still Sealed, Johnny Rivers Blue Suede Shoes on United. I just really like this. The music from Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer. It's on RCA. It says it's from 1972, and then it says 1985 on it. But it honestly feels like it was pressed in this millennium, but Michael Martin Murphey, The Heart Never Lies. You can never go wrong with Michael Martin Murphey. This was cool. It's a sealed soundtrack, Rancho Deluxe, factory sealed for your protection. This is a movie soundtrack with the movie stars Jeff Bridges, Sam Waterston, Elizabeth Ashley. All the songs are done by Jimmy Buffett. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Buffett. I literally bought this for the album cover because who can deny that album cover? Oh my God. Tucker with the hype sticker, $1. Like I said, a good addition to my soundtrack collection. Return of the Black Stallion Returns, Francis Ford Coppola. Great artwork. Still Sealed, The Last Emperor. Steven Spielberg, I do believe, right? Why do I think this is Spielberg? I don't know why I think this is Spielberg, because it's not. All's well that ends well. I just swore Spielberg. Oh, I guess not. A very early Vern Gosdin on Elektra. Promotional copy, not for sale. I'll go ahead and show you there, Bobby. That white label promo, Vern Gosdin, Never My Love. I love Vern Gosdin. I do not have any of this early stuff. He was a peculiar looking creature. You know who he reminds me of? Oh my God, why am I going to forget his name now? He played in Young Frankenstein. He was the actor that played Igor. I'm not even going to try to remember it, but that face, does that not remind you? Ah, that glare, I hate that. Look, Chris just said this on It's Infinity. You can see me holding up this, holding me, holding up this, me holding up this, on and on and on and on and on. That was the last of the dollar records. This was purchased from another vendor at the record fair at full price. I mean, it was like $6. But it is Brimstone and Trackle. It is a promotional copy, not for sale. This entire soundtrack was done by Sting and the Police, with one song by Squeeze and one song by the Go-Go's. We Got the Beat. Everything else was done by Sting. Plus Sting also played in the movie, if you've ever seen it. And this, I bought it from a vendor, the same vendor that had Brimstone and Trackle. Was also a 12-inch of Two Live Crew's Pop That Pussy. Sorry if that word offended anybody, but I'm not sorry, because I don't really care. I hate to have that attitude, but we're adults. Grow up. If you were offended. Cyndi Lauper 12-inch of What's Going On. Side 1 has What's Going On club version, What's Going On long version. Side 2 has What's Going On instrumental and One Track Mind. I do believe this is from her, True Colors album, which I have. But she is so beautiful, so adorable. Oh, and it is a gold stamp promo. Found this at a flea market in the same town, Paducah, where the record fair was. Just discovered her a couple years ago, and I think she is absolutely amazing, and I will not pass on any of her records. This is Jody Miller, House of the Rising Sun. She is awesome, awesome, awesome. Not Linda Ronstadt awesome, but she is awesome, and she does a great job on all these covers, which most of them I do believe are covers. Side 1 is House of the Rising Sun. Love and Arms, Dobie Gray, Elvis, Dixie Chicks. Natural Woman, Let Me Be There, Reflections. That seemed to me like an original, I don't know. Side 2 starts off with Linda Ronstadt's Long, Long Time. Not a fan of Jody Miller's version, but I'm biased. Then Let It Shine, All I Want Is You, Lucky Chicago, Another Night of Love, and Smile, Somebody Loves You. But great, great album. I don't mind. Just in case you were wondering, that is on the orange Epic label. It's almost like I heard somebody go, "Hey, show us the label." But I didn't. Now this is the start of what I picked up when me, Billy Hurst, and Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame, met at Euclid Records in St. Louis. Absolutely love that record store. I will go back. I want to go back and meet those guys there, so we're definitely going to do that. But a sealed copy of Crossroads, the soundtrack. Let me talk about this soundtrack for a little bit, though. This is Ry Cooder, which, who doesn't love Ry Cooder? The only thing I don't understand about this soundtrack and other soundtracks, I mean, I get it. I guess it's a licensing thing, but I mean, if you could license the song for the movie, why can't you do it on the... I don't get that, but like Cocktail, right? The love theme from Cocktail, if you get the soundtrack, is not the waterfall scene song by Jimmy Cliff. That song's not even on there. It's like it didn't even exist. I hate that. So Crossroads, if you've seen the movie, this black gentleman here is an old blues. He's basically playing, like, I think his name in the movie is Lonnie Johnson or something. But he's basically playing Robert Johnson, where he sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads. So Ralph Macchio is a guitar student at a college, learning, you know, like Beethoven and stuff, classical guitar. But he also practices the blues, and he meets this guy, and he gets a job there. He ends up kidnapping him and taking him on the road. They go and play in these blues joints. Anyway, at the end of the movie, he basically meets up with the devil and says, look, I want you to give him his soul back. So the devil says, all right, we'll have a guitar war. You beat my guitarist, he can have his soul back. If you lose the war, then I get all of you. So at the end of the movie, he's going up against Steve Vai, which is the devil's guitarist, and Steve Vai is actually playing both parts in real life. And it's the coolest thing. Ralph Macchio, Steve Vai, basically does some Beethoven stuff. I think it's Beethoven on the guitar, and it's just killer. And Steve Vai's character can't replicate it, so he loses. But that song is not on the soundtrack. I've had it before, so I know it's not there, but the only way that you could ever get that song is in a Rolling Stones magazine, I want to say. They had one of those flimsy, floppy 45s that were like on a sheet square. That's the only way you could ever get it, to my knowledge. It was never released on a 45. If I'm wrong, please leave that in the comments and let me know, because I would like to look that up. Well, that was long-winded, wasn't it? Anyway, back at it. This came from Euclid Records also. This is an upgrade copy, still in the shrink, of Linda Ronstadt's Don't Cry Now, with the hype sticker that says Linda Ronstadt Don't Cry Now. Oh, and Peaches, if you're watching, this was bought. Peaches, list price $6.98. Peachy price $4.98. Peaches. Anyway, great album. And here's the one I've been looking for a long time, and I found it at Euclid Records also. I've only found it one other time in the wild, and it was beat to trash, and I didn't even want to spend the like $3 or $4 they had on it. This one cost me a little bit more, but it is solid copy. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the shrink, the Blake sleeve. This is Sweet Desolation Boulevard, which of course is the album that had Ballroom Blitz on it, Fox on the Run, Sweet F.A., The 16's, great song. I mean, every song on this is awesome, actually. Just absolutely amazing album. I've been wanting this for a long time. Like I said, I can never find it. It does have the original inner sleeve with the lyrics. Of course, I have it in a MoFi sleeve. It is on the orange capital. I think that's the original first pressing. I don't know. I'm not 100%. I used to have this album before, and it was on that label. I'm pretty sure the year that this came out, it would have been that orange capital label. You know, 73, 74, and 75, so I don't know. But yeah, so stoked to finally get a copy of that. Alright, so now, whoops. Got a couple more first. Then we met with Memphis Final Jim and the Misses. We had dinner at Sweetie Pie's in St. Louis, which is a soul food restaurant, which was really good. Then we went to Vintage Vinyl, which I had already been there earlier today, and I'll show you some cassettes that I bought when I was there earlier. When we went back, I was talking to Brandon and Billy about this album that I had, not the one I'm about to show you, but that I had in my hands, and I passed on it, and the more I stewed over it, And they were like, man, you really shouldn't pass that up for that dollar amount. And it wasn't the dollar amount. It's just I hadn't been to the other places yet, and I didn't want to spend all my money. Not really all my money, but, you know, I just didn't want to blow everything in one place. So I put it back. When we went back, it was there, and I'll show you what it is in a minute. But I looked in the Elvis section when I was there before, and this record was not there. So I don't know if somebody had it in their hands, and then they decided to put it back, but it was $4.99. And you Elvis collectors know that this is killer. In the shrink, it's a 1S pressing of Good Times. This record came out in 1974. Is this 74? Yeah, 74. Good Times. This had 2 hype stickers on it. This one has both hype stickers on it. And I didn't realize that until I looked at it even further, and I was like, for $4.99, I'm not leaving. I don't care if the record's broken half. I've got a vinyl record I can put in this cover. The record, however, though, is immaculate. It comes with the original inner sleeve. It's a little crinkled up, but even the inner sleeve is not even split. So there's the back, and here's the front. If you look close, there's the My Boy hype sticker, and then right underneath that is I've Got a Thing About You Baby hype sticker. So both hype stickers are on here. This does sell for a pretty good, decent amount. Trust me, I ripped them off for $4.99. There's the original inner sleeve. And it does not like to go in this record album cover with this MoFi sleeve. And there's the 1S beautiful vinyl pressing. I've played it. It sounds great. So yeah, blown away. I got that for $4.99. And to think, I didn't even care to go back to vintage vinyl because they don't have like an AC system, and it sucked. But that's where Memphis Vinyl Gym and the missus wanted to go. Well, thank you. And here is the Big Daddy. I have wanted this for a long time. I had this on cassette when I was a kid. My grandma used to throw a freaking fit that I even had this, so I'd have to play it with my headphones. And 2 Live Crew, as nasty as they want to be. And this is before the parental advisory sticker. In fact, I do believe this is the album that started all the controversy. Yes, because their next album, Banned in USA, has the parental advisory. And then that Pop That Pussy was off of Sports Weekend, as nasty as they want to be too, and that also had a parental advisory. But this just says, warning, explicit language contained. Any reissues would have had the parental advisory on it though. So this is really cool. Beautiful, beautiful condition. The cover has slight ring wear. When I was there, I was telling Brandon and Billy, I'm like, you know, I don't really know if I want to spend the money, because it's like, oh, it came with the original order form for 2 Live Crew gear. But I was like, I told him that the cover was pretty much trashed, and we get back, and it's still there, which Billy had reservations on that even being there. And I'm like, well, the cover's not even that bad. I don't know what I was thinking before. I mean, you can read the spine. It's got a little wrinkle up here. It's just very light ring wear. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. It was in an old plastic sleeve of vintage vinyl, so it looked a little rougher, though, but I paid $20 for this. I mean, seriously. I'll give $20 for this album all day long. That is everything I bought that's in the vinyl realm. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and, after the vinyl, the vintage vinyl store that we went in St. Louis, they had about 15 of these Elvis FTDs. If you're an Elvis collector, you know how cool these are. Look what they're selling them for. $9.99. This is the only one I picked up. I don't know how long they're going to be there, but I will take a trip back up there soon with about 150 bucks, and I'm going to try to get as many of them as I possibly can. But that was cool. And I listened to this on the way back. It has absolutely got some of the best outtakes I have ever heard on an FTD. The rest are cassettes. I'm going to blow through these pretty quickly because I'm at 25 minutes right now. It's going to be a long video. Got that. These are all the double feature soundtrack cassettes. This is from 1997, I think, 98. This is Can't Help Falling in Love, which is a compilation of soundtrack music. And there's another double feature. Now, some of these are all from the 2000s. I want to say this one is not, though. I think it's from like, I don't know. This is already going too long, though. I think it's from 97 or 98. This one is from the 2000s. These 2000 Elvis cassettes aren't the easiest thing to come by. These were all 99 cents. This one especially, the home recordings. I couldn't believe I found that. Then this is a 2 cassette. This is the Memphis 1969 anthology, Suspicious Minds. That's cassette 1. That's cassette 2. They look oddly familiar. And there's Elvis Heart and Soul, which is, I think, a 97 BMG release. And then Memories, the 68 Comeback Special. It is a 2 cassette set also. That is definitely from the 2000s, I do believe. So that's everything I bought. The rest is going to be VCLT. God, we're at 27 minutes. Sorry. Billy Hurst gave me this. You know, I'm a big B.J. Thomas fan, and wow, when I saw this, I was like, yes, I want that bad. This is on Scepter Records, which I do believe is his first label. Look at that young B.J. Thomas. Oh my God. These need clean. That's why they're not in sleeves, but it's on the original Scepter label. I just haven't had time to clean them. This one was really, really cool. Country and Western War Songs. Hello Vietnam, the Lonesome Valley Singers on Diplomat. Look at that album cover. That's what Billy Hurst gave me. Now for what Memphis Final Gem and the Memphis Misses gave me, and it blew my mind. You all know I'm a big Ronnie McDowell fan. Big Elvis fan. Well, Ronnie tours a lot with a lot of the people that were in Elvis's career, i.e. J.D. Sumner and the Stamps, the Jordanaires, Millie Kirkham, which is the little old lady that sang the parts in Blue Christmas, and she did all the haunting high stuff before the other girl came around. Can't remember her name right now. Anyway, they knew that I was a Ronnie McDowell fan, and they have this framed. I'm going to get it matted, but it is Ronnie McDowell's first album with concert tickets from 2010. This is his tribute to Elvis, The King Is Gone. And on the inner sleeve, it is signed to The King Is Gone, Ronnie McDowell. Then down below, it is signed by the Jordanaires, Ray Walker. I don't know that guy's name. Curtis Young and Gordon Stoker. Two original members. One that came in the 60s, which is Ray Walker, the bass singer. The other guy, I believe he is a fill-in for one that passed away. I don't recognize his name. The Stamps Quartet, I don't recognize their names off of their signatures. I don't know if they're new Stamps Quartet people. This is obviously, I do believe, yeah, this is after J.D. Sumner had passed away, so J.D. is not part of this. And then Millie Kirkham signed it down at the bottom. So there's your Jordanaires, Ray Walker, Gordon Stoker, the two most famous members. There's the Stamps Quartet, and there's Millie Kirkham, and there's To the King Has Gone, Ronnie McDowell. And it's just amazing. Thank you guys. It was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful meeting you. April, the missus, she's just an amazing lady. Jim is an amazing guy. Billy Hurst, was just awesome to get to meet you, buddy. I felt like I was in the company of my brothers. Brandon was just an amazing guy, and I'll be honest with you, and I don't know, so embarrassing. I'm a grown damn man, but I was geeking hard when I met Brandon. You all know my story. That's Brandon's channel and Memphis Vinyl Jim and the Missus channel are the two channels that I started watching the very first day I found out about the vinyl community. Their channels are the ones that introduced me to the vinyl community, and I stayed up till like 4 o'clock in the morning watching them. So Brandon, to me, Memphis Vinyl Jim and the Missus, those are celebrities to me, and to get to hang out and eat lunch with them was just ridiculous to me. I mean, Billy Hurst is awesome too. Don't take anything back, buddy. Those are the ones that did it for me, like introduced me, or I wouldn't have met you, Billy. But all around, I had a great time. I love you guys. I'm going to stop blabbing now because this video is at 32 minutes. Oh my God. I got to go later.